In today's video, I want to answer a question from one of my readers, Jackie, who's concerned about the recession and is feeling that people are spending less money on everyday items, which is hurting a lot of small business owners who rely on those consumers. And so Jack was asking, how can we overcome this as entrepreneurs? Is there a way to generate more business? So my answer for you, Jackie, is yes, people are spending less, but they are still spending money. And so it's up to you to really differentiate your business from everybody else to win that market share. So even though there's less money out there, there is still money there to be had. So here's a couple ideas for you that will hopefully help you solve your problem. The first is you want to offer really great customer service. Be as helpful as you can, try to reach out and connect with your customers as much as you can, and try to build a relationship with them. So it's harder for them to jump ship and stop buying from you or go buy from someone else who might be a little bit cheaper because they feel they have a really strong relationship with you. So do your customers really care about you? And it starts with you caring about them first. So as much as you can, you want to try to be really super helpful for your customers, go above and beyond with your service. If it's just you, that's great, but also your staff, if you have it, try to be as helpful as possible. So you want to build that relationship. So that's the first step. The next thing I would recommend is try to make it really easy for people to buy from you and to say yes. So you might want to think about having an introductory offer, for example. Have something that's low cost, as an entry-level gateway to start to work with your business. And that way you can show what a great product or service you have, what great service you have on top of it, and how helpful you and your team are. And that helps start to build the customer loyalty. So if you have a really high ticket priced item, is there a way to make it a little bit cheaper, have an entry-level offering so that people can start to do business with you and realize what a great company you are? The third thing I would recommend is try to get some social proof in there. Nobody wants to be the first to buy, and there's probably tons of competition for whatever you are, buying or selling. So what you want to try to do is show that, hey, people really like what you're up to. So try to get testimonials from some of your customers. Try to use social media and get people, liking you and giving you some tweets about your business. And the more you can showcase that and show new prospective customers that, they're not going to be the first ones to buy from you, the greater the chance is that you're going to be able to land that new business instead of your competition.
Your job is to make me think like you think. You're a thought leader. You're a weird duck. You're different. When you open YouTube, you watch different videos than most of the world watches. You see the world differently. And if you want to be a success in business, you need to show other people how to think like you think. So I have a 3-day program that I put together in Toronto twice a year called the Thought Leadership Academy, where I take 15 people from around the world, and for 3 days they work with me and my team to become thought leaders, to take the things that are in your head and turn it into something that can have an impact. Because I believe your purpose comes from your pain, right? Whatever you went through, whatever you suffered with, helping other people not have to suffer as much as you suffer will be the thing that fills you up for life. Now, amazing. How do you actually help people do it? Well, how did you get out of it, right? I have a who, why, how process, right? How did you get out of it? Because how you got out of it, even if you're not done, even if you're not finished growing, how you got out of it, how you saved yourself from that pain is a recipe for other people. So a lot of times people come to me, come into the Thought Leadership Academy, and they're saying, well, there's people like Tony Robbins and Ed Mylett and all these people doing great things. Who am I to go off and have a voice? Who am I to sell the dream? Who am I to have a big vision when all these great people are doing it? Imposter syndrome is real. Even me, I have days where I look at these videos and I look at Les Brown and he's my hero, and I look at how I'm doing it and I don't measure up. Like I'm nothing compared to Les Brown. Young Les Brown, at least. He's my hero from a speaker. But does that mean I shouldn't do it? Does that mean I should stop making videos? 300 million people have watched my content, right? And so if that's you, if you're afraid to sell the dream, if you're afraid of imposter syndrome, if you're afraid to get the ideas out of your head and out into the world because we need you, because you can serve people. The best thing that I found is imagine you're talking to the person who you were 5 years ago. You may not be Ed Mylett level yet. You may not be maxing out as much as you can yet, but you can help the person who you were 5 years ago. And there's a lot of people who are currently like who you were 5 years ago. They're struggling, they're in pain. And so my big dream, I want to solve the world's biggest problem, a lack of belief. I talked about it at the top of this episode, right? I think every problem in the world can be solved when people are doing what they have Michael Jordan level talent at. That's That's what you need to find and go all in at. And so I try to share that as much as possible. And that's why people come and watch these videos. Why do you watch this video? I said at the top, because you know there's something greater inside you. You know you're capable of more. You know that this version of your life is not the final version, and you're trying to grow and learn, and you're hungry to get better, to educate yourself, to inspire yourself, to motivate yourself, to go off and take these crazy ideas that you've got that nobody else believes in, that people think you're nuts for, and unleash them into the world because you want to serve, because you want to give value, because you want to help, because you know you're capable of it, right? And so that's my dream. That's what I'm trying to sell. I want everybody to do that. I think everybody's a genius. And for some people, they resonate with it and they come back and you subscribe and thank you, I appreciate you, and others may not. And that's okay. And that's on me to get better, to continue to improve and get better, to make better videos, to be a better speaker, to be more eloquent, to have better ideas. It's a constant, never-ending improvement. But what's important is that you have a dream, you have these ideas, you want to make the world a better place, and it's through the pain that you went through. You know that you've got ideas that can help people, but you're afraid of them. Because you're afraid that it's not going to work out. You're afraid of being judged. You're afraid of being that imposter. People say that, well, who are you? But what's the alternative? The alternative is you never do anything. The alternative is you know that you could have saved at least 2 people, 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, if not 1,000,000 people. You could have saved them, and you didn't because you were afraid. And so that's what I'm hoping you'll do. You'll take this message and do something and have an impact and tell your story and be a thought leader, because you see the world differently, and that's what we need more of. We need to take the ideas that are in here and put them out there so that you can have a bigger impact. Now, I go through a lot of this in my Thought Leadership Academy, but I'm going to give you a 3-step, super crunched down version for everybody watching so that you can start to make an impact as a thought leader. Step number 1 is tell your story. You have to tell your story. I need to know what happened to you. Your purpose comes from your pain, and I need to know what that pain is. And this is where a lot of people, they get icky, like, oh, I can't share that because it's too painful, right? It's too vulnerable. It's sharing too much. You have to. One, by you not sharing your story, whatever you went through, whether it was abuse or substance abuse or doubts or fears or insecurities, whatever you went through, the fact that you stay silent on it perpetuates the silence. You're basically saying it's okay to be ashamed of this thing that happened. And so everybody else who's had it or is currently experiencing it, they feel ashamed as well. You're perpetuating the silence by not sharing your story. The second thing is, by sharing your story, it connects people to you. You might have all the great strategies in the world. You might have the exact solution for somebody to get out of the pain that they're in. But what they're gonna do is say, well, you don't understand me. Oh, that's great. You're high and mighty. You have all these solutions, but you don't understand what I'm going through. But you do, because you've done it, because you've been there, maybe worse than what they're going through right now. But unless you tell me that, unless you explain to me what you've been through, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna listen to you. You might listen to me for entrepreneurial advice because I built businesses. You might listen to me for YouTube advice because I have a successful channel. You're not gonna listen to me for cat grooming tips because I don't have a cat, right? And so people will judge you. People will say, well, who is this person? They're not gonna listen to your ideas until they know that you felt the same way that they felt. And so that's the most important part of telling your story first and having the courage to do so. Step number 2 is create content. You gotta create content. You gotta tell me what's up. Whether it's making videos like this, Instagram, written posts, Twitter, create content. You gotta be in my face. You gotta spread the word. People are going online when they're looking for answers, right? They're looking for answers. They're looking for solutions. I want them to find you. I want them to find your message. I want you to hit them with something that's gonna make an impact on them. Right? Whatever the best way is to get what's out of your head into the world, that's what you need to do. You're gonna suck at the start. It's not gonna be fantastic. Go back and watch my first videos. They were not great. It'll take practice, it'll take effort, but with that time, you'll get better. And pick the medium that best suits you. I like video best. I like videos, so I have all these YouTube channels and all these videos, and it's what I like best. If you like writing, write. If you like audio, you like interviewing people, start a podcast. Amazing, but you have to get content out there for people to discover you. You have to get the ideas that are in your head out into the world so people can find you, can follow you, you can influence them, you can help them, you can guide them to make the right decisions, and you can get the message that you have inside here out into the world so it doesn't die within you. And step number 3 is lead with a powerful opinion. Anytime you're creating content, and this is something that takes a lot of undoing when I'm working with my students, is you have to lead with a powerful opinion. You gotta make me care right from the start. The very first sentence has to matter. Stop me. Because most of the people who are watching your videos, hopefully, they don't know who you are, right? If you're only talking to people who know you, it's a really small market. And whether it's videos or written or audio, however people are finding you, the first 5 seconds matter. And so most people, when it's video, for example, will start with something like this. Hey, welcome back. It's me, Jimmy, and it's so great to have you here. And I'm so excited. No, gone, boom, gone. They've left. No, nobody's watching that except your friends. Don't create content for your friends. Create content for the person who you were 5 years ago, but they don't know who you are. And you've got to break through right away in the first 5 seconds because, where's my phone? I don't see it. People are scrolling. People are scrolling. They give you 5 seconds, you gotta hit them in the face right away. So lead with a powerful opinion every single time. It'll make a huge difference to the impact that you can have. If you wanna learn how to demand excellence from yourself, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. You need to be able to create something that means something here, that if you show it to your mom, your grandfather, your husband or your wife, your kids, you feel like, man,